Now, the 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Brought to you by TireOutlet.com. Wholesale prices, premium service.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
When do you want to rock?
I'm just going to jump in right here and start exchanging sports concepts and raps.
10-minute drill, just like that. Boom.
I'm going to call you out because you made a comment in the break that was stunning, and it needs to be said.
It's true.
And then I started thinking about, you as an Atlanta sports fan, you follow the Braves and the Hawks and the Thrashers and the
first. And before you continue, you're not quote calling me out.
Falcons.
Hopefully, I'll teach you something in this little segment.
The Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the United,
Flames,
The Dream.
the Dream.
Dream.
And so the first,
Galaxy.
before I get to your statement, as we welcome you back, and we'll have a prize for you at the end of this.
Yes, we will. A good one.
As we do the 10-minute drill, we do it fast, quickly, and hard hitting. What?
It's innervating.
You against Boston sports fan now is not a good battle.
Yeah, I got one.
You got one in how many? If say 3 seasons a year, you've been following it since 1972.
Yeah.
82, 92,
In my
02,
lifetime, that's been one out of like 100.
48.
And we also had hockey for a while. It's been about 200.
Yeah, 1 for 2. Understand this. Jeff Prosser's, as he roots for teams through the years, seasons, about 200 seasons have come and gone in Jeff Prosser's life. 200 seasons where he gets excited about said team, and he has one championship.
Builds character.
One, okay?
Actually, let's go 150 because hockey doesn't really count. And the Calgary got one after they left. Which,
that's fine. Hockey would have never
cared.
For you.
But I would have claimed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for you wouldn't have cared.
No, well, that's not true. I would have watched. I just wouldn't have. The care wouldn't have lasted. But I would have gotten into the, to that particular year.
So had you been born in the 50s, you would have gotten to.
Not in Atlanta.
No.
Atlanta didn't start playing sports till the mid-'60s. Right when I was born, it's like God planned it all together.
He planned to play this cruel joke on you.
Yeah, he did.
Right. Yeah, they were Milwaukee.
The Braves and Falcons came in 66. The Hawks right around then, and I was born in 67. God just said, here, go work in sports. Go be the biggest sports fan ever and own this.
You need to learn a little bit of humble pie, and I'm going to give you this. But he may have overdone it because you have one championship.
Yeah, sad, really.
One.
Thanks for your care, friend.
Jeff Prosser cried when the Braves lost the World Series to the Minnesota Twins.
24 years old.
Cried like a baby.
Yeah, 24.
I understand.
Anyway, so, and then take Boston fan and juxtapose that, who just tucked away another one and has like 12 in the last 8 years or whatever, some incredible amount of championships. Season comes and, the Red Sox are done, and he's on to the Patriots, and then he'll be on to the Bruins.
Doesn't seem fair.
Then it'll be spring training again.
In Celtics, you're going to be favorites. It doesn't seem fair.
So it's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Well, you want to measure up the Gators against Boston College?
There you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, when you, in the break, then turn around and say, what we were talking about, the Bucks are undefeated. The Milwaukee Bucks fear the deer. And that's where Jeff's old coach, Mike Budenholzer.
Bud, I call him.
Of the Atlanta Hawks, went to, as the Hawks in their brilliant front office decided to let a really good coach walk away and replace him.
It's somewhat accurate, but the truth is kind of in the middle. He wanted to leave because of the direction they were going. He didn't want to rebuild a tank.
Right. Yeah. Which is understanding.
Sure it is. Yeah. They let him go, and it's great. I'll root for him. And
I would have said,
you haven't gotten to the.
Just so you know, if I was in charge of the Atlanta Hawks and I had a great coach, I would have said, oh, you think you can still win with these?
So
in fact, you're a great coach.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you the head of basketball operations.
Well,
you tell me what to do.
He was that at one point.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I too would have done that. But they changed ownership, too, in that.
But what Jeff Prosser said was that Mike Budenholzer, understand this, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Budenholzer.
This is a fact, not an opinion.
Is the greatest coach, professional.
The best.
Professional coach.
The best. Not the greatest, the best.
Whatever. In the history of Atlanta professional sports.
Yeah, I stand by that.
Boom.
Yeah, I stand by that.
Better than Bobby Cox. Better than Dan Quinn.
Yeah, this is where you run out of names.
Better than
Dan Reeves.
Lou Burnett.
Lenny Wilkins, Mike Fratello, the czar, the telestrator.
Mike Budenholzer took the Atlanta Hawks to the conference finals and won a Southeast Division championship.
Top seed.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm talking
Do you have
about,
a question?
Yeah, again.
That's my question.
this argument wouldn't be. You couldn't even make this argument if it was another town where they didn't have the history that you just expressed to me.
Lenny Wilkens won a championship. Not in Atlanta.
Yeah, not in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think Budenholzer, I really do. I think just is the best coach of any Atlanta team ever. I do. Yeah.
Isn't Lenny Wilkens the winningest coach in NBA history?
Yeah, but that not much of
Doesn't
that
matter.
happened in Atlanta. I mean, he was good in Atlanta, but Budenholzer was the only one that did more than he was supposed to. The only one. The only coach in Atlanta history did more than he was supposed to. I mean, I could have run an orangutan. I could have handed an orangutan the lineup card and let him walk it out during Bobby Cox's tenure.
Yeah.
I mean, who are we kidding?
You're not a big Bobby Cox guy.
No, Bobby Cox is fine. I don't
Yeah.
think he's terrible, but my God, you got 5 Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you not win with Smoltz, Clavin, and Maddox? An idiot could win with that.
Yeah.
Could win 100 games. So he's a good manager, and there's also a skill and, the personnel management as much as the player management, the personal management, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I will stand by. All things considered, just X's and O's. I think that Mike Budenholzer is the best coach that Atlanta has ever had. I think taking the Hawks to the East Finals is a bigger accomplishment than winning one World Series in 14 years with the best roster in baseball every year.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That
was question one. Topic one.
That was topic one. Good. All right. Well,
It had to be asked.
Yeah, let's go to round. I have a question. Since we just talked baseball.
That's a tough one, though, to hang up Mike Budenholzer as your best coach ever. But I guess when you're 1 for 150, maybe that.
I mean,
I understand.
I think that watch what think about this.
Yeah.
Think of all the other Atlanta coaches and
Yeah.
the greatness they went off. No, none of them. This guy
Understood.
is going and look, boom, 7-0.
Okay.
And this Milwaukee team that he has, he'll construct and execute just like that Atlanta. This is better than that Atlanta team. I fully expect the Bucks to win 60 games and to be the top seed in the East.
All right.
So anyway, I don't know what is happening in Philadelphia, Dan Hicken, and I'm not talking Eagles. I'm talking Phillies, who suddenly are the betting favorite to land Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. Did Scott Boris's announcement that he's already got a team and a deal, and now this Vegas odds of 1-to-1 odds that Bryce Harper ends in Philly, is that like a story that is just not a good, well-kept secret, or what?
Speaking of Vegas odds, Jeff, I was looking at the National League East yesterday where your Braves are the favorites to win, and the Phillies are second, along with the Nats at 20-1. The Mets are 25-1. The Marlins 250-1.
250-1.
And there is an issue here, and it's interesting because the Mets are hiring a former agent today. Okay, and so. Not to answer your question about the Phillies, and to be their GM, which is a very odd thing, and he represents some of the guys on the Mets. Listen, he knows what Jacob deGrom wants. He knows everything about Jacob deGrom. So now he's Jacob deGrom's, quote, enemy in terms of business.
I don't.
It's very odd and very interesting, and there'll be a lot of questions about that today. I mean, it makes for very interesting theater. But anyway, look, the Phillies
got money. They're going to spend it.
They got money, and they're ready to spend it, and they want to win again. And that's what happens sometimes. If I could just get our owners to sell the team, we could become the Phillies.
Here's the problem.
But I can't, and they won't.
The problem with Philly is like Atlanta. They got a lot of good young players. Do you want to sacrifice them? Well, if you give me Bryce Harper, I'll put him in right field tomorrow.
Bryce Harper and Manny Machado?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
You won't be the favorites anymore, by the way.
Nor should we.
No. They get Bryce Harper and Manny Machado.
Which will make it that much sweeter for us and that much more painful for them when we win the division.
Yeah, we beat the Phillies in that bandbox all the time, so that's fine with me.
Well, as you know, we tore up the East and basically beat no one else.
Yes. It's my turn. Jeff Prosser, here we go. I said this to you in the break. Where are
searching for words? This is the frustration level that we've reached here in Jacksonville.
It is a frustration level.
That was pure emotion.
Contorted face.
Well,
he's rubbing his forehead like he's at the end of a long day's shift.
We've done it so many times, and he's been great. Great for us in our industry because we talk about him almost on a daily basis. But when I say the name Blake Bortles today, what do you think of?
Heading down the home stretch.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much money it's going to cost the Jaguars for that smooth move of extending him last year.
Yeah.
Don't know how much that's going to cost him, but we'll pay for that.
Yep.
Fans, those fans will pay for that. It's going to leave them with a hole, no matter how big, that was unnecessary. You know what I think of when Blake Bortles? Here's what I think of. And I mean this with all due respect. Look, we know, everyone knows our thoughts on the Godfather, his ability to manage a football organization.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked that they blew this one, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked that they looked at Blake Bortles and fell into the trap of taking a sample size and applying it to the future. Now, look, there's an out here. They'll come back and say, well, we never, we weren't committed to him long term. It's not that many dollars. No. Mm-hmm. I sat and listened to the explanation of Blake's turned a corner. We think what he did there is it. The fact that he fooled one of the best in the business, to me, is what stands out about Blake Bortles and his tenure here. Do you think Blake Bortles starts another game anywhere else? Probably does, doesn't he?
Yeah, you would think. I mean, Blaine Gabbert starts games other places, so.
But he's done as a week-to-week starter, isn't he?
Who?
Blake
Bortles?
Yeah.
Oh, after this season?
Yeah.
Unless there's some sort of monumental turnaround. I mean, he's 10 touchdowns.
He
is what he is.
Yeah.
If you're okay with those numbers, then
how can you be?
Then you move on.
Although one thing was exposed, and Blake not playing good this year at times is at least help us know, too, that the defense is a lot more bark than bite. They're good. They're not great.
Right.
They tell you they're great. If they were great, we would have beat the Eagles 17-10 this weekend, and we'd have a whole different feel around here. So, no, that only begins to describe Blake. I just kind of gave the prognosis of the roster. I got a lot of respect for Blake Bortles, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Blake, he took a beating on the field and off in other locker rooms, in his own locker room, from the media and the fans, and he never wavered. He never shied away from answering the questions. He never made excuses. So, I think he is what it is. It's not Blake Bortles' fault that Dave Caldwell took him number 3 overall and put that expectation on him.
And this is, we've been saying this is the 5th year now with Blake, and we're halfway through this season. But if Blake Bortles played games like he did Sunday, that would be okay. That would be fine.
Yeah.
He completed,
Bless you.
Told you I'm fighting a cold. Completed 58% of his passes, which is not quite good enough, especially considering we're throwing a lot of short balls. It's not like we're throwing it deep all the time. But had a touchdown, no picks, didn't turn the ball over, rating 88-1, threw for 286. Those are the kind of things.
This is how convoluted Blake's career has been. This stat that they ran in the game the other day, and I've seen it regurgitated since, is the most counterintuitive, unbelievable stat that I can imagine. But did you see this? That when Blake Bortles releases the ball in under 2.5 seconds, he's got a 105 passer rating, 7 touchdowns, 1 pick. When he releases the ball after 2.5 seconds, he's got a 58% completion. He's got 4 touchdowns, 7 picks. How is that possible? That defeats the whole notion of needing time to throw.
Right.
And in talking it out, the reason is this. When he gets rid of it in less than 2.5, it's one of those rinky-dink little worthless plays where he takes one step, throws it 2 yards, to a slanter who obviously in a poorly designed play gets 3 yards total or drops it.
Yeah.
So that too is just odd. The guy was just not was yet, but he's just all over the place.
Yeah.
He's just all over the place.
Yeah.
And
But if you gave him better receivers, don't you think we'd be having a little bit different of a
5
conversation? And
years.
I know, and I'm not saying his whole career, but this season alone, I just think.
I don't. I saw the guy throw it end over end. I saw him bounce it off a lineman. I saw him there. This just in. All the other Tom Brady's guys drop balls too. They all drop balls.
68 starts. I mean,
no,
it is what it is.
He's an 80 passer rated, 60% completing, interception throwing. It's not a good combo. It's just not. I have one quick question. We'll make this the last one on the 10-minute drill.
Just so you understand, over these 5 years, number 1 in interceptions, number 1 in turnovers, number 1 in inaccurate passes. I mean, so
that's not the receivers.
That's not the receivers.
No, and I'm not saying he's a good quarterback at all.
Yeah.
But I think the story has been written, especially this season, the last few weeks, that he is the absolute worst quarterback of all time. And I watch Sunday's game and think, that's not the worst quarterback. That's a quarterback with 0 running game. He was the leading rusher in the football game, and his receivers made horrible plays.
Right.
So it's not all Blake, but
No.
at times, yes, he threw 4 interceptions against.
I don't
Kansas
think
City.
he's the worst quarterback of all time. I don't
No.
think he's a quarterback. Here's another problem, too.
No
fourth quarter comebacks
Listen to
in
what
5
you
years.
just said, Lauren.
Yeah.
He's not the worst quarterback of all time. That's not good enough.
No, that's not good.
So
enough.
so
You're
that's what we're
absolutely
saying.
right.
Yeah,
That's
what
all
we're
I'm
talking
saying.
Yeah, no, we were fooled into thinking no turnovers in the postseason meant
It's important for
he was
him
going
to
to
be.
make the right decisions in the most crucial times.
Again, it was important for him to be in the upper half. You know.
Yeah,
Just
and he's
get
not
us,
anymore.
Get us in the
1 year.
Get
Yeah,
us
top
in,
15.
Get us in the 8
Yeah.
through
And just 1 year he did
16
that. Yeah.
spot, and we'll
Yeah,
be okay.
I mean, again, the realization last night is this Jaguar team is a lot more like the Bills than they are the Patriots. That's
Yeah.
a fact,
yeah.
and that's scary. The Patriots are 6-2. The Bills are 2-6. Give me one name, Dan Hicken, as we wrap up the 10-minute drill. Give me one name that would be interesting that you think might move today in the trade deadline. You know, there's a few of them out there. You know, some of the running backs, maybe a quarterback. Is there any move that really makes a difference? It really is. You know, I think two of the most overblown stories in sports happened today: the NFL trade deadline and the first release of the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Neither one mean much of anything.
No, they don't. And I think that, like, I don't see Eli Manning getting moved. You know, and that's the one that everybody comes to. But I think that the team's already made their trades, and I don't think there'll be a flurry of trades. I heard Golden Tate's name being kicked around, but I don't really have a one.
Yeah,
big
maybe.
name.
I'm curious to see if Le'Veon Bell is moved. If I'm the Steelers, I move him, Dan. I'm moving him. I don't need him.
Yeah.
I got James Conner.
Yeah.
I've had Le'Veon Bell the last 4 years, and remind me of which Super Bowls we won again. He is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Who is a selfish, terrible teammate, and I don't care what that his locker room would tell you different. I don't care. I'm telling you, as the grown up in the room, that is, you know, offering to pay a guy millions of dollars a game. So maybe Le'Veon Bell. All right, that's the 10-minute drill. You're welcome, Googans. It's a Catlin Truck Accessories Tuesday.
Give me a number.
Here's
Caller
your chance to
number
win.
2. Caller number
Nice.
2. You go to see Kiss,
That's
baby.
right. You get pair of tickets to see
right.
Kiss on the farewell tour at Daly's Place coming up April 12th. Tickets on sale this Friday at Ticketmaster.com. Call number 2, 641-1010.
What a prize.
I have it under good authority. Tomorrow's number 3.
The party's just begun, we'll let you in. You drive us wild.